those of the owners, management, staff, advertisers, or sponsors of this radio station. It is not our intent to make any defamatory statements or infringe upon the rights of any human being. Any such communication is contrary to our core values and belief as hosts of Heartbeat.
Sharing information and inspiration. You are listening to Heartbeat on WIDU, the Widu Network.
ATC Tower, this is Heartbeat Flight 2026. Permission to take off.
Permission granted. Heartbeat 2026. Take off.
Shh. Heartbeat.
Listening to Heartbeat.
Heartbeat. Heartbeat. Heartbeat.
You tune in to Heartbeat. Heartbeat.
Heartbeat.
Heartbeat. You're listening to Heartbeat.
Yeah.
If you don't know what show it is, first of all, you need it's Heartbeat, and we're grateful to be here with you. Hey, you gotta dance like nobody's watching, love like you've never been hurt, sing like nobody's listening, and live like it's heaven on earth. I'm John GODBOLT.
And I'm Tony Billingslea.
And this is the Heartbeat Flight 2026 on Wake Up, where we still believe the truth is the truth and no one believes it, and a lie is still a lie even if everyone believes it. It's a great day in the village of Lafayette. Shout out to all of our social media friends who are following us on Facebook and our audio family. We appreciate you so much. WEWO in Laurinburg, North Carolina. Hello, my friends. We'd love to hear from you. The number is still the same, 910-483-6111. How about our friends in Lumberton, North Carolina, WAGR? We'd love to have you guys call in as well. And our metropolitan friends down in Red Springs, North Carolina, WIDU, we appreciate all of you as well. And of course, here at the flagship in Fayetteville, North Carolina, WIDU, it's a gift and a blessing to be with you today. And we're going to say happy birthday, happy Earth Day to any of you who celebrate a birthday today, as well as anniversaries. And lots of folk, a friend of ours, I performed a wedding yesterday, 30-some years ago. And we said, hey guys, how you doing? They were just talking with some of them as well. It was nice to hear their voices and to know that they're still hanging in there, enjoying the marriage and celebrating as well. Quick reminder to all of you, don't just spend time with folks, spend quality time with them. Get together with your family and your friends. Make sure those that are not on the phones, missing church, call them. Find out what's going on with them. And as a matter of fact, we can remind you if they're suffering loss, we have a grief share program at one church. As a matter of fact, there's several around the city, but at one church on Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 11:30 at the church, 918 Person Street. We'd love for you to bring them there, get involved for a while and see what happens. If you want to find out more about it, you can go to your website at www.griefshare.org, or you can call the church at 910-323-8889. I think it's extension 22, but not just listen. They'll tell you the right extension. Either way, love for you to be a part of that. All right? Captain, we got 3 topics today. And, oh, by the way, Dr. Ron is busy. Being busy, doing some things today. So he'll be back with us. Will we be here next week?
No, we won't be here next Friday.
We won't be here next week because that's Good Friday.
Good Friday.
All the preachers will be preaching, the 7 last sayings of Jesus. That's going to be great as well. In case you missed it last year, it'll be on fire again this year. So we won't be here then. Then I'm going to miss the next one because I got to be at Fayetteville State. Not got to be. I got to be at the Bronx. Want to be there for a celebration of something that happened some years ago. So looking forward to that as well. So, and then the following week I won't be with you either. Come to think of it. But nonetheless, somebody will be here. Our topics for the day, Coach. Why are so many black females losing their government jobs or being furloughed? We'll talk about that, as well as the cost of having and raising children until they're 18 years old. Unbelievable. While some couples are opting out of having children, there's maybe some things behind that. And then we'll continue part 2 of our thoughts on the future of the black family in America. Plus, health tip and did you know, all that good stuff coming at you. So let me give you the backstory on this.
Yes, sir, please.
When I was in Colorado Springs, one of my former deacon who's now working there, living there, he was telling me about his sister who is I think she works for the government, GS job, but she has not been paid in several months. So I asked, well, do you think she would come on? He said she can't because of some of the reasons that are dealing with her job and people might know her. But as I started looking up this, I said, we got to talk about this. Over 300,000 black women have been pushed out of the workforce. This is from Forbes. Janice Arcia is the last name. She's a PhD senior contributor to Forbes magazine, and she was telling the story about this and how bad it has been for African American females. So let's break this down and talk about it, Coach.
You know, I'm glad that you gave this particular assignment because I always learn something each and every assignment. But sometimes in the heat of the battle, things will slip by us. And this is one of the things that I really wasn't taking note of, the number of African-American females who are a significant part of the workforce are losing their jobs. As you say, 300,000 black women have lost jobs in the public and governmental sector, and mostly due to diversity, equity, and inclusion. When Mr. Musk came through and started to call himself downsizing the government, many of these women were, as you said, furloughed. Some were asked to retire early without pension, mind you, and then some were just let go.
See, this is the other part of that. A lot of folk don't recognize a ripple effect behind this is when that many jobs are taken out of any country's economy, the GDP is affected as well. So we've seen a drop, a change in that as well, because you cannot have that many jobs shut down without losing gross national product. We just call it national product, but gross domestic product. Yeah.
African American women also make up about 60% of the total black workforce, especially for college educated people. And for that many people to be out of the workforce is going to have a significant impact on all things in our society. Now, we see that happening now, but what about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when these women who were the heads of their household are now in poverty? What happens to those children that they are raising?
And let me bring up another point as well. With that being a process in our minds, one of the major things that I noticed was that in order for you to get a job in that level in the first place, it's not your application, because 70% of the professionals who are hired on jobs in this level are getting their jobs because they know someone who works there. This has been proven. Studies have shown that you may put an application in, but there is there's only a 30% chance that even if your application goes to the next level, even if you interview all the way to the last interview, that you'll get that job. Because if you don't have some inside information, which is what we found out, fewer candidates get these jobs because they have skills, they have inside referrals, and that's a lot of jobs that a lot of people miss. And when you take out the DEI, dismantle DEI, then also now you get a less of an opportunity for those jobs.
And this figure to us may not sound significant. We're talking about 1.4 percentage points. The rate of African American women in employment fell. Now that sounds like a small figure, but when you take in account the total population and the number of women working in the workforce, especially educated women, that's very significant.
That is. Another report to add to that. A 2023 report showed that it's called the indictment of what black women that left their jobs. 36% of them left their job because they feel unsafe. A part of that, as you look at the studies from Harvard and different places, and I'm glad too, when we talked about doing this, I didn't realize when I started looking into it, oh my, this thing is so systemic that it's almost impossible for them to get there. And then when you get into that location, if you remember the movie Hidden Figures, how the black females were, even though they were computer literate in their minds, as far as math is concerned, they were not accepted. Here we are trying to work together to get a man on the moon. Someone has the ability to do it, and simply because they're black females, you don't want to give them the information. You don't want them to have the use of the bathroom. You can't even drink out the same coffee pot. I mean, you've got all these different systemic reasons. But the problem with that is it hasn't ended. It's still there.
I'm glad you brought that point up, because when you lose that amount of people in the workforce with the level of education and expertise that they have, you don't easily replace that. You don't replace that level of expertise and knowledge overnight. So those that think they're not being impacted are actually going to be impacted when you lose that amount of expertise in the workforce, because many of these women worked in government and federal jobs, as I say, where you're not going to quickly replace them. Even if you did, the level of expertise is not going to be there when somebody's been in there 15, 20 years.
We'd love to hear from you if you're one of those people who may have been furloughed or had to retire early or any of those situations. We'd love to hear from you at 910-483-6111 so we can talk to you personally. The other piece that I was looking at from this report shows that black women were not able to build a base of social work, when I say social working, social connecting on the job. So you may be working on the job, but you don't have a lot of people you can talk with or expand a base. So whenever you're the last in, you're the first out, or the first one they look at to get rid of, not because your skills are not good, but simply because you're not a part of the clique, if you will. Now, as long as the clique is working, as long as you're in the clique, nobody worries about that. But it is an issue that we have to address, because when you think about that many people losing jobs, ending jobs, it's going to affect everything around us. If not today, as you said, 5 years from now, what is going to be the repercussion to this?
Yeah, the Economic Policy Institute has an awesome blog with the data regarding black women suffering these losses in 2025. One of the charts that they have, and one of the things that really startled me, was black women with bachelor's degrees face the greatest employment losses and labor force departures. What the EPOP, or EPOP, which refers to employment to population ratio for black women, boy, I mean, a minus 3.5 to a minus 2.3. That's the ratio.
Okay.
The number of people with education compared to the population. So black women with education and degrees are a significant part of that workforce and the labor force. And when we get ready to talk about raising black children, we're going to see the effect that has on raising children from 0 to 18.
To our audience, if you've never looked at some of the reports of black female doctors, medical doctors, who worked hard to get their approval, certificate, degree, and yet at the end of getting it, walked out of a job, you need to pay attention to that. Pull that up, Google it up, YouTube it up, and you'll see incredibly gifted doctors who were able to get through all of the minutia, if you will, of people, issues, and challenges to become, yet when they got there, because of the social ineptness of others, caused them to say, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, we talked about this several months ago, the Project 2025, and now we're seeing it in action, and we're seeing the demise of things in our society. Nearly 12% of federal workers are black women. That's significant. So those DEI cuts and DOGE cuts really cut into the federal workforce, and it seems to be that somehow they're targeting minority.
Without a doubt. I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to figure that one out. But you're right. When you look at that, and of course, whenever the current president said that, I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it. He did know everything about it, or enough about it to know what was coming down the pike. And as a matter of fact, this thing was even tried. It was initiated on the presidency of Ronald Reagan. That was when it first started, and trying to stop a lot of the possibilities of black people being able to hold jobs and have just a fair opportunity to work and show that we are viable and important to the process and the forwardness of America. And because your skin is a color, to me, it just blows my mind that we can be so narrow-minded that the skills that someone else brings to the table. If we go back, someone said, if you go back to and take everything out of America that black people known have invented, take it out of America today and anything connected to it, you wouldn't be able to get out of a bed. No, you couldn't. You wouldn't have a bed to get in. I mean, everything would be, America would not be what it is today with all the different things. Plus, I wanted to share something that dealt with the network gap that was recommended for African American females to get involved in. When you get to these jobs and get to that level, yes, you're going to be almost isolated by other people, but you need to make sure that you start building a community with other people like you, even if they're not on the same job with you. You need to find other black females, somehow or another, connect with them and other people who've been in those jobs so that you can have something that build you in the process, because this thing will eat out of your brain and your mind. And as we said, they felt unsecure, they felt unsafe behind all of this.
Yeah. You know, it's important for us as a race of people to network and to lift each other up.
Yeah.
You know, when we have an opportunity. I never forget, I was a young, I had been promoted to captain at that time in the Air Force, and I got an opportunity to meet General Newton, affectionately known as Fig Newton. He was a pilot. He had been promoted to brigadier general. When I met him, he was still a full colonel, and he was doing a tour of Air Force bases and talking to young black officers to ensure that we were networking with each other so that we could navigate the promotion process and getting jobs that would help us in the promotion process. And one of the things he took note of was was the medals that we had. That fortunately at that time I had received and been awarded Air Force Nomination Medal, and you know, he was asking me about the particular assignment that I had on, and because he says as he toured, he didn't see very many individuals with medals of achievement that look like us.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the key, knowing that you can build community. And again, not everybody is against us. And I found, like we talked about here, there were jobs that I got, and after I've been working on it several months, they said, "Oh, we never filled out an application on you." So I was doing the work so well that I had to go back and fill out the application because the people recognize quality work.
Quality work.
There are some people out there that don't look like us that want us to be successful.
Absolutely.
As well.
And we wouldn't be where we are in America now without the help of individuals that didn't look like you and I that told us how to navigate certain things.
That's right. And that's how we make it. Guys, we're going to have to take a break shortly, but before we do, we definitely want to make sure you stay with us because we got so much stuff to come that's coming up. I feel like Joshua, Lord, extend the daylight so I can win this battle. We got so much I want to talk about. I want to extend this hour, but I can't do it. We got to keep moving. Anyway, it's good to be with you. Let's kind of keep in mind that we're going to be talking about the second half about children, to have children or not to have children as one of the pieces. But let's see if we can do a did you know and a health tip before the news break. How about that?
Yeah.
I think that would be something. I had some things on there that my did you know and my health tip looked like, are you serious? They sound more like a show. But did you know, in 2006, there was a Coca-Cola employee who offered to sell Coca-Cola secrets to Pepsi. And let me show you how Pepsi responded. There was a girl, black female named Joya Williams. She's an administrative assistant for Coca-Cola. She had a $50,000 a year job, and she wasn't quite satisfied with it. So she decided to enlist two accomplices, Ibram Demson and Edmund Delaney. So they stole some confidential documents, and they wanted to sell it to Pepsi for $1.5 million. Well, what happened with that is Pepsi decided that they were not going to deal with this. And what they did was they turned it over to the FBI. And the FBI put a sting operation out there. And so when they got to they were at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. That's in Atlanta. And when they had this stolen information inside of a Girl Scout cookie box.
Wow.
And the government, of course, the FBI agent taped all of this and wiretapped them. End of the story is the guys, they were arrested and charged with theft of trade information, and they got, they got 8 years in prison. Girlfriend, she got, I think it was 10 years in prison. No, they got 2 years. She got 8 years in prison, and they had to pay back Coca-Cola $48,500. Not to mention she lost her job.
Wow. Did you know?
Did you know? You don't steal secrets.
You don't steal secrets.
But you got to give Pepsi credit for saying we're not going to do this. You know, we don't need to steal secrets to do something. We're going to do this thing right. Okay. So shout out to Pepsi.
Wow. My little did you know sounds kind of insignificant compared to that information. That was just good information. Well, did you know that the average hen lays 228 eggs a year?
Wait a minute.
The average hen
I didn't realize that
lays 228 eggs a year.
I got to talk to my mom. I think we had some lazy hens around when I was a kid. I don't think those hens put up that many eggs. That's a lot of eggs.
That's a lot of eggs.
Yeah, that's amazing. But that's a good tip. I mean, we'll think about that. Okay. We got 30 seconds. No, let's go and take a break. We'll give you the health tip when we get back. Because my health tip is as long as my did you know.
That was a great did you know.
We'll be back. This is Heartbeat.
Yeah.
Early this morning, the Senate approved to fund most of the Department of Homeland Security, but not ICE or Border Patrol. President Trump is now extending till April 6th the deadline for Iran to fully open the Strait of Hormuz for oil shipments. Governor Josh Stein is asking lawmakers for nearly $800 million to fund the next phase of Hurricane Helene recovery in western North Carolina. North Carolina farmers head into a critical planting season facing higher prices for fuel and fertilizer. Scribe burns have been taking place over the last few weeks across Craven, Jones, and Carteret counties in the Croatan National Forest to help prevent most dangerous wildfires later. North Carolina's photo voter identification law was upheld on Thursday as a federal judge set aside arguments by civil rights groups. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
Good morning. It's a warm and windy day. High temperatures reach the mid to upper 80s, approaching records for some areas. There will be a chance for showers and storms, though, this evening into tonight. Tonight, lows dip into the low to mid 40s after the rain clears out, and it's cooler and breezy behind our front tomorrow. Plenty of sun, but highs only climb into the mid to upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Kat Campbell in the NCN Weather Center.
Wake up, catch the vision, join the team. This is Pastor Reginald Johnston of My Father's House Christian Church right here in Fayetteville. We want you to wake up and join the team. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's good when we come together. We're one body, many parts. We desire that you wake up and join the team. It's good to be a part of Wake Up. Wake up, join the team. We will see you in Jesus' name. God bless you.
Starting out with patchy fog after some overnight rain. Temperatures early on in the 70s. Heading into the afternoon, our highs upper 80s to near 90. Showers and storms will be pretty hit and miss early on, with a slightly better chance heading into the evening. Overnight, low to mid 70s with scattered showers. By Sunday, more of the same, upper 80s to near 90 degrees, with scattered showers and thunderstorms expected during typical hours. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center.
This is Bishop Johnny Ray Jr. of the Churches of Worship Worldwide, Apostle J.A. McDonough, 2118 Owen Drive. And we are proud to be a part of the Wake Up. Come and join the team.
This is Apostle Preston Davis Jr., Senior Pastor of True Love Church International. We would like for you to come out and join us at our morning worship service starting at 11 o'clock a.m. and also on Wednesday night. Join us in our Bible study at 7 o'clock p.m., where the Spirit of the Lord dwells and the Word of God is taught. The location is 625 Kellum Circle. Come join us.
Are you ready to make a difference? Become Mental Health First Aid Certified with the Governor's Institute. This free one-day training will give you the skills to recognize, understand, and respond to mental health and substance use challenges. Whether you're a friend, coworker, or caregiver, you can be the support someone needs. The training is available in person or online and is open to everyone. No experience required. Take the first step today. Visit milvetacademy.org to learn more.
Boy, it would be good to play some golf today. The weather's perfect. However, I tell folk when you talk about golf, they ask me how good am I. I tell them there is Tiger Woods and then there's in the woods.
All right. Which one are you? A tiger in the woods?
Yeah, I'm a tiger in the woods. Okay, I'm John Godbolt.
And I'm Tony Billingslea.
Tiger in the woods. And Ron Godbolt will be back with us next week. I want to thank Bishop Carl E. Brinkley Jr. for pushing the buttons here and doing a great job as he is taking on a new role and responsibility here at our station that we love so dearly. So thank you, Bishop, and all the great work that's going on here. Let's do a health tip and keep moving here, because in a few minutes, MP1, MP2, and MP3 will be taking over the studios and sharing with you some more great information. Okay, health tip. I'll let you start off this time.
All right. We say this all the time, but we really don't realize the effects of it. The World Cancer Research Fund recommends no more than 3 servings of red meat per week. They recommend that you switch out the red meat serving with fish, fatty fish, poultry, or legumes.
That's good. I'm glad you said that.
I think as we've gotten a little bit more able in society, sometimes, I'm thinking back, wow, man, I was eating red meat every day.
Yeah, exactly. My doctor was telling me, I went to for my annual checkup, ladies and gentlemen. She was telling me about now they are doing their prostate cancer exam, asking young men, especially African Americans, to not to wait to 50, but now 45.
Yeah.
I said, why? She said, because we're finding that cancer is showing up in younger people now more so ever. I said, well, why? She said they're not eating the right kinds of food. Sometimes they're eating these quick, fast foods, not enough foliage in their meat. In their diets. And then she mentioned one other thing that they're not doing. But those are the reasons why now they want to detect if there's cancer in the body. So you need to have these screening exams at 45, especially African American males. So.
Absolutely.
So that's to point out to you. Also, since I'm speaking of that, did you know black adults in America are 30% more likely than their white counterparts to have high blood pressure? This is 30% now. This is according to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, that they are 60% more likely to be diagnosed with diabetes, both conditions called what? Heart disease. Mm-hmm. So we're more likely to die from this as black men than white men, as research shows. So the disparity has a lot to do with a range of things, and we won't go through all the details, but everything from economic opportunities or the lack thereof, structural racism, and medical mistrust is another one. So although we can't afford it, some of our genetics are just lining it up as something we have to deal with. And knowing that it's not just all systemic, but it is part of our
and even though it's part of our genetics, those two things that you mentioned, diabetes and hypertension or high blood pressure, can be controlled and can be prevented through diet.
And that's what he said. Number one, you got to lower the amount of sodium in your diet. Please read the back of the label before you eat it. And those are what we call serving size. Now, if you're one of those big serving size guys or women, that does not count. Double it, okay, or triple it. Sodium in your diet. Know the numbers. Know your numbers. Pay attention to what's your heart rate. Know these numbers. Exercising helps you often, no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
Finding a doctor that you trust. You got to, and then visit regularly. Find a doctor that you trust. Ask questions, okay? Stay in the loop with other people. These are the kind of things you can do. And if you smoke, stop it.
Stop it.
Give it up. Finally, sign up for the Brother Strong Black Men Empowerment Conference. It's coming up April the 10th and 11th at www.brotherstrong.com. That's one S, brotherstrong.com. It's a free conference. It's loaded with information to help you from A to Z. Again, that's www.brotherstrong.com. Conference April 10th and 11th at Fayetteville State University and the Seabrook Auditorium. I just want to get that out. We had a great meeting with, the name just slipped me. I can't believe I can't remember the name that quick. Anyway, we'll talk about it as we go forward. So you can be a part of this great training. All right? Let's get back to our topic so we can do some things here. Talk about having children. Have children or not to have children? That is the question.
Boy, as I thought about this, I wish I had this information when I first got married. I know that you and Vertel do marriage seminars. And I say, wow, this is good information. We plan for a lot of different things in a marriage, but sometimes we just don't plan for the children.
We all happy and in love. And then we mess around and say, okay, I'm pregnant. Oh, wow, that's exciting.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a baby. Yeah. I hope it's a boy. I hope it's a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, it's Jeremy Wright. I don't know where the name came out. Jeremy Wright is sponsoring this. AARP is a real sponsor. He's negotiating and working with them to make it happen. But back to our point of having children, not having children. Okay,
yeah.
Go ahead.
When you look at the average the cost, yearly cost of raising a child in America from 0 to 18, wow, nearly $375,000 to $414,000 for a middle income family to raise a child in America.
Think about that. Now that's one, and that's if all systems are go. There's no extra health issues, no extended anything. This is just a basic
one child,
1 to 18, 0 to 18 years old. That's an amazing, whopping large amount of money.
And the average family is what, 2.5 children?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm talking about. How in the world do we consider even doing it? But yet people have figured it out. Some of them figured it out. But a lot of people have put it back on the back burner or decided not to have children because their career, it doesn't fit with their career. Where they are. Their personal growth, their responsibility of parenting with that job just doesn't work for them.
Yeah. When you look at the top expenses for raising a child, housing, approximately 29%, food, 18%, and then child care and education takes up another 16%, according to SoFi. Wow. Like you say, sometimes people will say, okay, let's delay raising that child, for a few, having a child for a few years, because the average cost of a home now, $200,000 for a medium-sized home in this area, up to $400,000.
Yeah, if you can find one now. For that.
If you can find one.
Exactly. I mean, we have people that I know who are real estate agents trying to negotiate to find homes for other people who want to buy them. And they were saying when we got there, the pictures that we saw that looked like the house. So that's another issue. However, there were some people who legitimately checked with their doctors and know in their history, medical history, there are some medical health issues that they could risk by having a child. And they choose not, chronic conditions, and they decide it's better for me not to even have a child.
Absolutely. You never know until things crop up. I have 4 children, and 2 of those passed away, two girls, with lupus. And as we started to look at things and research the family background on my side, I did this personally. And my wife's side found that she had her grandmother and an aunt both had lupus.
Really? Yeah. Okay. But it was on her side of the family.
It was on her side of the family. But my side of the family has a propensity for autoimmune diseases like arthritis and gout. So those two things together may have contributed to them having lupus.
It's amazing. Another one is environmental concerns. The very fact of trying to raise children in this environment, and sometimes when you consider, again, we're back to the black female who has to work on a stressful job, living certain areas. That may not be a fair place to try to raise a child in. Yeah. So considering all those different areas, it's something to think about. But I'm not. I can tell you, I would not change my story on my two. I love.
I thank God.
I tell you, it was hard.
Yes.
Nobody's going to tell you any differently. It's difficult raising children, and especially when they get to teenage years and the things they can get into. But it's still worth it. I just thank God for the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm going to kind of segue just a little bit, and I go back to the marriage seminars that you do and do them well.
Thank you.
We require people to get a license to own a firearm. We require people to get a license to operate an automobile. And you have to study. You have to study the book.
Yes.
So that you know the rules and regulations of operating that automobile safely on the highway with other motorists. We don't do any of that when people decide to make a covenant of marriage.
Yeah.
We've taken God out of the equation, and I'm going off on a tangent.
That's okay.
And made marriage a legal contract as opposed to a covenant between man, woman, and God.
Well, you use the right word, covenant, but like we said, that it's not with what we're seeing in our society. It's more of a piece of agreement, a contract that can be broken at any time. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm like you. The more we talk about it, it'll be great if people would, instead of start dating somebody and say we're going to get married, let's talk about the process of dating. We bring things like that on our website about even dating. What is that? What should that look like?
What that look like?
And by whose definition are you calling it a date? Because men don't look at dates the same way that women look at dates.
Absolutely not.
Same word, different definition.
Yeah. For those of you who are interested, the average cost in 2025 of raising a child in the state of North Carolina per year is $22,000 per year.
Per year.
Per year. That's one child.
Times 18, if you want to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And if you are adding these things up, and I'm not trying to make it mathematical, because part of this equation has to do with what is God's will for your life. We have to make sure that we never forget that as Christians.
As Christians.
You know, that what is God's will? The person, the activities, the job, everything, God has always been involved in our lives. He always wanted us to make sure that we are following His plan, which has always been the best for us. But either way, hey, making people happy is what we're more about than anything else. Okay, let's segue into, we got 13 minutes or so, and this has been a topic we've been talking about since the very beginning, the plight of the black family in America. It seems like everything we talked about today has been black women, black health, having children, and of course, if you don't have that job making the right amount of money. It's going to be difficult to do any of those things. But when you start talking about the strength of the family, I don't know any other way to say it than what I've learned, and that is the first relationship a man has to have is with God. That's the first. It's biblical. It's solid. God helps us build our foundation, our standard, our character, because we learn Him. We see Him in the Word. He shows us what we look like in the mirror. Do we look like Him?
Absolutely.
Do we respond like Him? And once that man is sure of who he is and how he walks, he knows what his call is. Now you're ready to take this word that God has given you, and God can bring. He brings the right woman. See, and that I'm teaching. Well, anyway.
Yeah, you're doing real well.
Either way,
keep going.
Either way, biblically, we follow the plan. Now, listen. We all understand that there's always an adversary that brings about a change. There's a flesh that wants something, because if we use our eye gate more than anything else, there's some good-looking specimens walking around here.
Absolutely.
And not always the outward, because we are supposed to marry from the spirit first, then the soul, then the body, versus marrying someone from their body and hoping that we got the same kind of fellowship and partnerships so that we can have a successful marriage. And so that's some of the things that we love to talk about in marriages.
Oh,
so
yeah.
The individual has to be solid so that the family can grow.
It makes a difference. And how do you see it? Help me out. First, as you say biblically, the man must be a worshiper.
Worshiper.
Come on.
A worker. Then an instructor. All three of those things. He got to know how to speak to a woman like God spoke to him. When God told Adam, asked Adam, name these different creatures, the reason Adam could name them because he had God's glory on him. He could see things like God see them. And you can't instruct until you can see things like God see them. And so when the man calls you out of your name, he didn't call you, that's not right. And then once you've done that, then when he brings the woman to you, he's an enhancer. A man can make a woman better by him knowing who God is. And finally, he has to be a protector. The word husband means band around the house. So you got to be protect. You can't protect what you can't enhance. You can't enhance what you can't instruct. You can't instruct if you don't have a job. And if you don't have a job, you can't worship.
See, these are the things that are impacting the black family more than anything that you and I probably could discuss here today, is that the black male is not in the proper place. We have a significant number of households, unfortunately, that don't have a male role figure in the household. So that when we get in our proper place and do what we're supposed to do, then we can start to see some improvement in some of these areas where there's a demise in the black family. You know, we don't want to hear God ask that question, Adam, where are you?
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at if we look demographically, if we look financially, if we look at the number of divorces, we are worse off today than we were in 1965.
I think that period historically, coming out of slavery, going into the area of Reconstruction, the black family became important because we had been slavery separated us, and we were still able to maintain the family unit in slavery.
Sure.
With all those things that were going on, and then as you said, after 1965, we saw all these government programs come in. Some things started to occur that they call themselves helping when they really weren't helping, because when you keep the man out of the home simply because, well, we're going to give you X amount of dollars to operate, but because the man's there making an income, we can't help you.
Yeah, and you may lose everything if you let him stay in the house overnight.
Absolutely.
And somebody's always watching, so there's always an issue. And Captain, I'm going to back up to something, because when I was giving those steps, something came across my mind, and that is there is a spirit in the world today.
Come on,
to
sir.
rebel just because I can. Okay, not because you want to say, let me think about what these guys are talking about. Let me process this. I don't go to church like I used to, and when I go, I'm just sitting there and thinking.
Come on, sir.
And I don't open my mouth to worship God, and instead of processing it, we live in a day and time where rebelling is just the option we go to. We become default rebellers without even understanding. Just because I can say I don't like it.
I don't like it.
They do it. And to me, that's a lack of understanding. You put your emotions before your logic. You're not processing. And if we can get our emotions under control. Now remember, I drive down here every day coming up the Murchison Road, and I know what they call it, the Merc. It's a nickname. But man, it's almost like a racetrack. There's 35 miles an hour.
Oh, sir.
I'm seeing people flying, and you come at the next light. I'm wondering, okay, where are you going? What is this getting out from behind somebody, looking at them flying around? It's a spirit,
sir.
of just I can rebel.
I can rebel. I'm digesting Second Corinthians 10. 1. Come on, sir. We can control our emotions.
Yes.
You can cast down imaginations and high things that exalt itself against the knowledge of God, and bring those thoughts into captivity.
If we don't, we'll never be able to process or go beyond this, the way the enemy is working. I'm giving an example. There was a movie I saw years ago when Jackie Robinson, who was an amazing athlete, triathlon or whatever athlete, who he used to play several sports, but he was angry, and Floyd Patterson was the one who taught Jackie Robinson, who was in the military, and he was just high strung. Floyd Patterson said to Jackie Robinson, listen, if you let your emotions run you, you're gonna lose. He said, what I've learned in that ring, when they were calling me all these N-words and people were spitting at me, that I stayed focused and kept my emotions out of the way, because I had to be methodic to win. You got to think faster and be more focused in winning, and with your brain, than your emotions. You can only make it so long with emotions. That's how we stop fights with kids in the schools back during the day. You let them wear themselves out yelling and screaming and swinging. They won't last but so long.
They won't last but so long.
And then they say, somebody come get this guy off me. They're ready to end that fight now, because the energy and the strength is gone. But when we come out methodically prepared and knowing that, yes, that's how we prepare people for the days of marching. They told them what they're going to be saying to you. Can you handle the eggs being thrown on you, people spitting on you? Keep your emotions under control. And that's what we have to be able to recognize as African-American family, members of the family. You guys got to figure out how to take care of your kids. You got to talk to other people, find other mentors in your life. And let these men help you. They may not be able to articulate like you. You may have more education. You may make more money, but they got more smarts. They've been around the block. Pay attention to some of these things instead of trying to be, I ain't got to listen. You do need to listen. Okay.
Absolutely. But one of the gentlemen that lived in my neighborhood, now my father was at home, but another gentleman that I looked up to in my neighborhood was a sanitation worker.
Come on.
What we called a garbage man back in the day. Yeah. But he was also a deacon in the church.
Come on.
And on Sundays he had on his white shirt.
Yes, sir.
His suit.
Yes, sir.
And his necktie. And he was a family man. And I thought, wow. That's awesome. He's a man that works hard every day on the back of a trash truck. A deacon in church on Sunday, raising his children and caring for his children. I said, you know what? Along with my father, those are good role models. I'm gonna try to be more like them when I grow up.
I love it. And I know people, a deacon, he's going on to be with the Lord now, and I did not know until I sat with him in a meeting when he could not write or read. But this man raised his family. He stayed there with him. He kept them in church. And everything he could do to make sure that his kids got an education, he did. And I mean all of them. And that's the kind of process, and you see, you stay. You don't run, you stay. You find a way to make it work. And so I know I got a lot of enemies on that. I'm not going to change my story.
I'm not changing up. I'm just going to direct you to 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and you can go all the way down to the end of the chapter. But the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. You can control them emotions.
Yes, sir. Throw them under the bus. Throw the emotion under the bus. Guys, listen, we don't ask for a love offering, nothing. And we're just going to give this one free. The only thing that evil needs to triumph
is for good men to do nothing.
Bye-bye.